Well. It's been a while, but guys, it's great to be back. The Big Six show. We got a host of special guests, and everyone's got a lot to say about their season. What can I say, man? It's been an absolute belter, I think. All round. It's been a great race. Right from the relegation places up to the title race. But we're gonna what we're gonna do is basically kind of give a summary of what we think our thoughts of the season are. But I think what I want to do first is just introduce all of the guests. So we've got the TheSilvaOne, obviously part of the Armoury, representing Arsenal, big up. We got Daps in the bottom left hand corner, and he's representing City. We got man like Deji representing the white half of North London, and we got man like Deals, and he's representing Chelsea. Omondi from the Man United agenda. We all family, and it's great to have you on. And I think what I'll probably do then in that case, as I'm hosting, I'll let Tony speak for us on how you think our season has gone so far.
Better than we expected, bro. It's.
Oh, thank God. Thank God. Sorry. I was just looking to work out I was trying to work out which Tony you'd got on to represent Arsenal. And I was thinking, please don't be that Tony. I can't put up with him again. Not that Tony.
I don't think Tony and Daps have been acquainted yet, but no, I know what Tony.
No, it's a different Tony that I can't take again. I can't take that Tony no more. The one I'm talking about.
I don't think there's many Arsenal fans that are going to be able to stomach at the moment, bro. So we'll see how this one goes.
Big up Daps. Big up Daps.
Big up Daps every time. Big up Never a Foul. Great to have you on as well. There's been a lot of smack talk between me and Daps, so yes, it's good to have you on. But yeah, Tony.
No, yours are more like slaps. They're not really smacks, to be frank, bro.
All right. Okay. I see. Okay. But yeah, Tony, why don't you sort of crack on? Tell us how you think Arsenal's season's gone. Can we stay the course? What are your thoughts?
Listen, I'm just enjoying where we are right now. Right? If you said to me at the start of the season, like 12, 11 games in, we'll be top of the league. Only losing one game and winning the rest of them, I probably would have laughed at you. But I'm enjoying it right now. I'm looking down at all these. I'm loving it. Look. Do I? And I know Deji's going to ask me, so I'm going to try and answer him now. Do I think we're in a title race right now? 2nd of November, we're top of the league, so we are. A lot can happen between now and May.
A lot can change. A lot can change.
But right now, we are in the title race. Yeah. There you go. I've answered your question already. Did you? I knew you were going to ask me.
Well, I mean, I think it'll be good. I think it'll be
good. A little house party and go, I smell. Well, I
think the best person to ask about that would probably be Daps representing the team that we're in the race in. And look, we know what City are. They're a juggernaut at the moment.
Before you bring Daps in, don't disrespect it like that. Don't do
that. What do you mean, bro? The grown-ups are talking, bro. No. Calm yourself, bro. Listen, if you ain't won a Prem title, you don't tell us. Yeah. We tell you, bro. Yeah, all right.
5 points behind you. So put my team in that race.
But hold on, can I just say something? This is a few years ago. 20? What was the season where it ended up between Liverpool and City, but Tottenham were there in January? Was it
2018? It was in 19. It was 19.
2018, 2019, right? And it was January. It was very early January, and it was the night that City, I think it was a Monday night or something. Or no, it's a Thursday night. It was weird. It was a Thursday night, but it was because of New Year's Eve being on a weird day, it just felt weird, right? And I was on the way home to watch the City-Liverpool game, right? And it was at that point, City were third. Liverpool were first, Tottenham were second, right? And TalkSport the whole way home were talking about the title race between City and Liverpool, yeah? And a Tottenham fan rang in and was like, this is just disrespectful. Like, we're second. Why is this title race about City and Liverpool, right?
Yeah.
And then the Tottenham fan goes, and I understand that City do have a game in hand, and if they win that game in hand, they go above us, but it's disrespectful. And no lie, I think it was Adrian Durham, yeah? He goes, no, fuck City's, or not fuck, but he said, I'm forgetting City's game in hand. Even if City don't have a game in hand and Tottenham are still second, you're not in the title race. It's just a Deji. What I'm gonna say is, right now, for me, you know, like in like a marathon, 1,500 meters, and you start off with the pace setter. Yeah. When the pace is out, yeah. Does anyone care about positions? Does anyone care about positions? They don't.
Not straight away. Not straight away. No. It's about.
So for me, until February, like. And even at February, it's a bit of a push. But until February, I don't see this as a race. Like, it's not a race. People are just fucking about and getting their shit together. And I just think it needs to be fair, yeah, that we all mocked United when United were top in January 2 years ago. We all mocked them. Facts. United fans spoke about being top of the league, and everyone's like, United fans talking about being top of the league in January. Now, apparently... And then, again, I've asked Arsenal fans, when Tottenham were top in December 2 years ago, did you see them as a title threat? And they're like, no. Cool. So why are Arsenal in a title race in October?
Oh, that's a good. All right, let me answer this question, if I will. Yeah. So I think, it goes without saying that Arsenal ain't Tottenham, United ain't Tottenham. Like, when we're talking about what's been done in terms of league titles in the Premier League era, yeah, it might have been a while for United. It might have been a while for Arsenal. It might have been a while for Chelsea. Yeah, obviously, it's not been a while for you. It's not been a while for Liverpool anymore. It's not been ever for Spurs. Yeah, so let's be real.
City.
Yeah, like
Leicester City.
We could even give them their kudos in this conversation. Yeah, but listen, I'm not here to bun Spurs. Let me talk about this season in particular. Yeah, I would say I'd be inclined to agree with you. Yeah, about it not being a race until February. Yeah, in usual circumstances. Yeah, but if you analyze the way that we've been playing, yeah, and the way that you've been playing, like both of us have only lost. Yeah, both teams. Yeah, obviously, you've been a cut above everyone.
We haven't. That's just we genuinely we haven't. Like, honestly,
do you think we play better than you?
Honest with you, it's been pissing me off all season when people are saying the season's done because City are winning it already. Because I'm looking at City thinking we haven't looked that good. We really haven't.
I hear that, but I would say Arsenal and City have looked better than everyone else, comfortably. Yeah, like, you know what I mean. Like, and I think when you look at the fact that we've won every other game bar one draw. I think the question begs, when you see a team doing that, that hasn't done that for a while, but if it was a start where there have been a few draws, a few losses here or there, but you were still there or thereabouts, it's the convincing manner of the performances that Arsenal have put in, I think, that has led to the question being begged. Now, the question does beg, can we stay the course? And I think the betting man would have to say no at this stage. But never say never.
I'm just going to bring Tottenham into this quickly again because I see Deji's getting upset. But here's the thing. One thing, and I keep saying, no matter what we say about how poor Tottenham's football has been, and my agenda is very clear. Yeah, my agenda isn't about whether Tottenham are in a title race or not. My agenda against Tottenham is that if come March you are not in a title race and you're out of the Champions League, same energy for Conte that Jose got. That's my agenda.
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
However, that's me saying now, I'm not judging them right now, but in March, if they're out of the Champions League and not in the title race at that point, however, I then have to add, they are still third, right?
Respect.
They are still winning games, right?
My dog right there.
They did go through the Champions League, top of the league, right? And I'll be honest, as a City fan right now, I was sat here pissed off last night thinking, you know what? I'm slowly thinking, why do they keep fucking scoring last minute goals in the Champions League? I don't want to play these men in the Champions League now, because I'm kind of thinking this is the type of thing that as a City fan we look at thinking, oh, this is long. Like, because these men will end up, and you do have to look at it and think they just need to, like, they do look shit, admittedly, but they are where they are. Yeah.
The thing is, let me. Let me counter this very quickly though. Yeah, very quickly. There's a clear difference, right? That all of that I kind of agree with. Yeah, they're winning ugly. Yeah, but winning is all that matters. I hear that. But the thing is, same energy that I'm going to say, same energy everyone was saying when we lost to United. The moment you faced the big test, you crumbled. Yeah. Now, since then, we went on an 8-game winning streak, beating everyone. Yeah, including Spurs. No, wait, Deji, I will let you speak, bro. Let me finish. Let me land, yeah, because I know why you want to interrupt there. Yeah, during this 8-game unbeaten run, we convincingly beat you at home. We pulled you apart, bro. Yeah, we beat Liverpool. They might not be in their best kind of form at the moment, but this is a team that habitually beat us. Yeah, this is a team that we hadn't scored against in 6 games. This was a team that Jota had scored in the last 6 performances against us, and in the first minute, with the very first opportunity on goal, we scored. Yeah, so we answered those questions convincingly. Yeah, but we responded from the defeat to Man United by beating 2 big teams, right? Now, by contrast, the game that we lost, by the way, PSV, context to it, we're playing Chelsea next week. We had to play Nottingham Forest. It was very evident we rested some of our best players, right? Now, by contrast, Spurs, they have the world-class players. They have the world-class managers. They've played 3 big 6 teams as well, yeah? And they got a point from Chelsea, which they celebrated as if they had won the Champions League.
We dominated in that game. We dominated that game as well.
Exactly. Yeah. They then played Man United, and listen, I have to say, Man United beat them even more convincingly than we did, even though they scored less. They controlled the game for longer. They dominated. They gave them nothing.
Yeah, but we know why that is.
Nothing, right? And then, what was the other team they faced? So what? Chelsea, Man United. There was us. So that's 3 of the big 6. They've taken 1 point from them. So same energy. Everyone was saying we were going to crumble against the big 6 teams because we got a youthful, inexperienced squad and a youthful, inexperienced manager, which they don't have. They've got world-class players and an experienced seasoned manager, and he's the one that's crumbled under the pressure. And Harry Kane and Son are the ones that were missing in those big games. So,
I don't know the answer.
Can they keep this title challenge up? Or if you want to include them in it, if you want to invite them,
you have to include them in it.
Hold on. There's a key question to this. Look, GunnerKing, there's a question, and I don't know the answer. I've got a question. I don't know. I genuinely don't know the answer. I do know the answer about you, man. Right? The answer is that, but I'd need to ask. Tottenham's games. Chelsea was away, right?
Yeah.
Chelsea was
away.
Arsenal was
away.
And United was
away.
Right, okay. Bit techie now. There's the difference. Because your games that you've won, the games that you've won against the big 6, the ones you've won have been at home. The one you won was away.
The one we lost was away. Yeah. I hear that.
And this season, I am seeing this, that home and away is making a big... for a few seasons, home and away got to a point where it wasn't making, for some of us, that much of a difference. I've been clocking it. Like, admittedly, I think we've only played. No, we've played Liverpool away. We lost. We've played Man United at home.
None of the big 6 have won away against other big 6 opposition.
Exactly.
By the way.
So there is context to that as well. That Tottenham have lost on the road. They haven't played the teams at home yet.
But it's the manner of losing. Like when you lost to Liverpool, away, it wasn't for want of trying. Yeah, there was conviction in the way that you were trying to attack. They defended well. You made them have to defend well at Anfield. Yeah. When we lost away at Man United, as Omondi will tell you, and he's been saying, it wasn't for want of trying. There was endeavour there that we created more chances. You know, maybe we deserve more from the game. They played very well and hit us on the counter. I'm not taking that away from Man United. But when you look at Spurs going away, yeah, there is this kind of element of fear in the way that they're playing. There's lack of conviction that they can go there and try and slap people when they've got attackers that they've got. I just don't see how they stay the course in this conversation when they can't go away and play with the conviction that Harry Kane and Son and Kulusevski should give them to be able to put teams on the ropes.
Yeah, cool. I'm coming through now. King, I'm not gonna lie. This is the first time that I've seen you licking other people's balls. Because right now, what I'm hearing from you is you're licking my man's balls.
Bro, I'm just saying what I've seen, bro.
You've been licking Daps' balls. You've been licking Daps' balls since we started the show. That's for 16 minutes. Bro. So let me just I'm just gonna call it. I'm gonna call it what it is. All right, licking my man's balls.
You don't belong in this conversation. All these teams, bro. Yeah, Tony, you've seen your team win the league. Daps has seen his team win the league. Amondi's seen his team win the league. Deals has seen his team win the league.
Let him talk.
Don't talk about licking balls, bro. Yeah, there's respect there, bro.
My trousers are not exposed, and no one is anywhere near my balls. Just to be clear,
all you're sucking is Man City balls. Right, let me move to the next point. When you're in a race, you're in a race. Doesn't matter when it starts.
You're not in the race.
Can I land King? Can I land Gunner King? The famous Gunner King. Can I make my point? You get me? Deji, the Arsenal Slayer is in the building. I've come for you tonight. You understand, my brother?
Pause.
Yeah, let me say my point.
Pause.
When the gun goes in athletics, the race has started. So you can't come here with this new thing saying that we're not in a race.
You're not in the race.
You're in a race, brother. You're in a race. Once the gun went, we're all in the race. Now, this little thing, this little love affair, this Romeo and Juliet thing that you're trying to do, that's got to stop. Because mathematically,
they ain't no love affair, bro.
Tottenham is in this fight as well. No, listen, my brother. Tottenham is 5 points behind Arsenal. So you're having the best season of your lives. You're having the best season. Look, I'm just talking facts here. You're having the best season of your life.
Deji.
Is this
Deji.
Bro,
play the game more, bro.
Deji.
What sort of host are you?
Deji, are you worried about your defense? Your defense has big problems.
Bro, the defense has problems.
Yes.
And we need to sort out our defense. But the facts remain the facts. We're not playing great, but we're third. You have to put respect on it. We're only 5 points behind my man is listing out all of our defeats, but they're only 5 points ahead of Spurs. With all of your sexy football, with all of your sexy football, you're only 5 points ahead of Spurs.
Why are you missing out that detail?
Let me also give some context. Listen, my bro, like that, man can also add some context to this. When you're in the big boy league playing big boy teams every couple of days, it has a different weighing on the players.
I think
we're playing Champions League football.
Big boy team. You're talking about your Champions League group, yeah?
I think what GunnerKing's trying to say is,
what were you saying?
You got Conte,
saying they have the easiest group.
The
easiest group.
No, you can't say that. We're playing Champions League.
You have the easiest group.
We're playing Europa.
All of the other three teams qualified for the Inter. Along comes Spurs. Along comes Spurs.
Look, let me just say my point, because you're really derailing the thing. When you can start Nkiti Kati, that's when you know the level of the competition. That's just the truth. You can play idiot people in your Europa League and still win. That's the truth. The sort of energy that you're exerting on a Thursday is not the same energy that City, Chelsea, Liverpool are exerting in the middle of the week. You understand what I'm saying to you? So that's part of the reason why you're able to do what you're doing. But Tottenham playing in the Champions League are doing our thing. You have to put respect on all of the Champions League groups, my brother, because you're not there. You're not there at all. And for my brother Deals, I don't even know why you're asking me questions, bro. You still need to explain yourself.
Yo, Amondi, question. Let me just ask Amondi a question. Amondi, what day does your team play? You play on Thursday as well, right?
Bro,
Yeah, we
don't
play
go-
Thursday.
don't-
Tony,
don't
your team plays on
talk
Thursday, right?
about
Man's
your
talking
team,
about
bro.
putting
You
respect
play
on
Thursday.
Spurs' name when both our teams played on Thursday and slap yours. After you made a song about playing on Tuesday and Wednesday.
You're playing. Who
You
did
want my
you play?
respect.
Who
You want
have
my
you played
respect.
in? Who have
You
you
lot made
played
a
in the
song
Europa
about
League
playing on
that's
Tuesday and
decent?
Wednesday
Who have
to
you
get
played
slapped by the
that's
Thursday
decent?
night gang.
Who have you played that's decent? You're
So
talking
you're
about
not decent now.
immediate teams.
So you're not
Zurich.
decent now. Man
Zurich.
asked the question as if we ain't played you. So
Who
I
have
guess
you
you're not
played
decent
that's
then.
decent in the
So I guess
Europa
you're not
League?
very good then.
Who have you played in the Europa League that's decent? Zurich. Is that what you're
Well,
proud of?
they did lose heavily to PSV. Not PSG, PSV.
That's
Heavily.
about it.
What was the
PSV.
score?
2-0.
And then you
score?
played Bodo. Then you played
2-0.
Bodo. Shut up, man. That's your joke thing. You can't even say it with chest. Bodo.
So listen, if we're a joke team for playing on Thursday night and you couldn't beat us, what does that say about you, bro?
Where's Bodo?
And you're beneath us, bro. What does that say about you, bro?
Azerbaijan?
I'm trying to make, I'm trying
Don't
to
pretend like you don't know.
do the
Don't-
mental
don't-
gymnastics
don't do
here,
that.
bro.
Don't do
Come
that.
on. Don't come on,
I'm
bro.
trying to do the
Do you
mental
know what I
gymnastics.
learned from? Do you know what I learned from that
around.
PS?
Same level,
Do you know
bro.
what I learned from the
There's
PSV
levels
loss
to this
though?
game.
Do you know what I learned from the PSV loss? Right. What that showed me, yeah, is why this is why I believe that Arsenal will drop off. That you only made a couple of changes. You made a few changes there, yeah. But here's the issue: when you're replacing one of your main centre backs with Rob Holding, yeah, that's the issue. They are the type of issues that will mean you drop off, because it will get to a point between January and May where Robert Holding needs to play in the Premier League. It will, bro.
No,
You can shake your head. But
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you, Tony,
Tony Silver Fox needs to step up and
Silver
answer
Fox,
this.
yeah.
He's the advocate. He's the advocate for Holding. So do not disrespect Holding. Expect Tony not to jump.
No, but wait, Tony. I want to ask you another question. Tommy Asu, yeah, is he a natural centre back?
Yeah, he does it for Japan, doesn't he?
Yeah, so we got two left backs in Tierney and Zinchenko, yeah.
Yeah.
So if we played against better opposition, we could use Tommy Asu as a centre back.
Yeah, but Holding's fine. Just
Oh,
saying.
he's a Holding fan, by the way. He's a Holding.
No, but
He's a
that was
big
just an
Holding fan, by the
example.
way.
Look, like when these changes get made, yeah, there's so many reasons. If I was to go into why I think Arsenal were going to drop off, like you, man, I'll be 100. You should fuck off the Europa League if you really want to title for a challenge, yeah, bro. You, man, do not know what it's like, yeah, to have a Pep Guardiola and a Manchester City squad that know how to do 4 competitions, yeah, been there, done it many, many seasons, yeah. So when you look a little bit tired or fatigued, yeah, wait till it gets to March, April, when you're tired, fatigued, and I don't mean physically, I mean mentally, and you've got this juggernaut of Pep Guardiola and Manchester City. Like, honestly, for us to be second right now is what we want. This is what we thrive on. Like, honestly, this is just a walk in the park at the moment. You're seeing Pep rotating centre backs every game, just getting man used to playing with each other, switching from 3 at the back to, and we're not looking great at the moment, but that's because it's not the business end of the season. This is the end of the season where Pep's like, let the ball do the work. You know what it is? Just fucking, I'm tinkering, I'm fucking about, because when it gets to February, there ain't no tinkering no more. It's every single game. Whoever the bad boys are, they're playing. And if they get injured, no problem, because there's someone else that will step up that is also a bad boy, not a Rob Holding, right? And that will come in and do the thing. And you know what? This is the first time we've actually been on a stream together, so I am going to speak on Arsenal like this. But I did say the other week, I'm not going to speak about my belief that Arsenal will drop off, because I've made it very, very clear. I just want to give them the respect for where they are at the moment, the football they're playing, because that is and if that's truly what you man think, yeah, that you're just riding the wave, you will get top 4 football. Anyone that doubts Arsenal are going to get top 4 football, are going to finish in the top 4. Now, they're finishing in the top 4 very clearly, yeah, for me. But the title race thing, I'm not hearing it, man. I'm really, really not. And I am putting, I don't usually put receipts down for anything, right? But I am putting a receipt down that you ain't going to be in no title race. You are not going to be in a title race. And I'm saying that because if you are, like, if you are still within touching distance in April, I will come out and say, I hold my hands up. I was wrong. But I don't believe it. I do not believe it. I don't.
What I will say, right?
Big in January, but it's not gonna be. You can't
What-
spend big and get the players settled in to be like next season. Cool, but
What I will say, yeah, is, as I said, yeah, the betting man would say that we will drop off from fatigue because we do have a youthful squad as well. They've not been. Omondi heard me do a video the other day where I said exactly this. We've not been in this situation, whereas City players, they've been there. They've done it. They bought the T-shirt. They've chased Liverpool down many times when they've been in this situation. When Liverpool have been in stronger form, yeah, when they've got Klopp, who arguably is probably in the top 3 for managers in the world. Okay, he's having a bad moment. I'm not going to apply recency bias to say he isn't. So Arteta's not been here before. The players ain't been here before. But what I will say is, you know, last season, okay, we finished 5th. Everyone said we wouldn't even finish in the top half of the table. We punched above weight. Yeah, okay, at the end, the wheels fell off because of the injuries to Tierney and Partey was a big part of it. Obviously, the performances towards the end did tail off, but those 2 components, Tierney now, we've brought someone in terms of the depth with that position. So this season so far, a lot of people have said Arsenal are 1 or 2 injuries away from tailing off. So far, at this point, at different junctures in the season, we've had Partey injured, we've had Zinchenko injured, we've had Tierney injured, we've had Tomiyasu injured. Now, Elneny's not a bad boy player, but the fact that he was number 2 to Partey and got injured at the same time obviously created a bit of an issue in itself. Yeah, and we've had Turner, our backup goalkeeper, that's not really doing much. So our first team squad injured. Saka got injured the other day. Okay, it was only Nottingham Forest, but his substitute came on within minutes, got a couple of goals and an assist in the second half. So I do agree in terms of depth of quality. Yeah, it's nowhere near City's, but I do feel our depth is being, our lack of depth is being overplayed massively. And I do feel that in January we are going to go and get 2 players of real quality and add them.
They won't settle.
Will you think, how many players do you reckon you're going to get? How many players do you reckon you're going to get, roughly? 2 minimum.
How many players do they need? Not get.
We need more than 2, I'll be
honest. For a title 3, but we will definitely get 2, I think.
Can I just cut in for a minute, please? Because judging by possession stats, you know what? Judging by possession stats,
it's a marathon, not a sprint, bro.
Arsenal and Man City got a possession, and you're just passing the ball around between yourselves. Me and my man, Man United and the Chelsea man, stuck on here, and we're quiet, but we got a bit more punch, and we're going to penetrate your possession and score some goals with what we got to say here. We've been listening quietly, not interrupting. We've got some parliamentary proceedings. Finally, you know. I just want to say big up to Gunner King. I did check out your thing on AFTV the other day. Inspiring, bruv. Your speech was inspiring. I suggest everyone watching go and check that out. What game was it, King?
Against Liverpool, man.
Against Liverpool. That speech was inspiring. So big up to you, bruv. Big up to everyone on the panel, especially Deji, man. You've been under fire lately. I have enough respect for you. Come here and you stand firm, you know. But let's just talk a thing. Man City, I can't argue with them. They are a superior team, I believe, and doing great. I just want to big up Arsenal Football Club. They're playing fantastic football, flowing football as well. They're kind of walking through most teams. What they did to Liverpool, what they did to Spurs, I didn't expect that. That's why I'm thinking this week, come against Chelsea, I think that's another test for them. If they can come through that away from home, that's going to be a big thing. I was watching Ten Hag, and hopefully all you guys starting to learn to respect Ten Hag as a manager.
I respect him.
You see his coaching and all that. He said in his press conference today, he was asked about, you know, what do you see us winning, that kind of thing. He said, you don't judge things in autumn, you know, because you will fall. You cannot be judging things. We're having this conversation in autumn and you're getting gassed about being top of the table and that kind of thing. That's fine. That's fine. But let me say this. When you are top of the table, Arsenal fans, I'm reading the comments as well. You have to expect that people are going to try and shoot you down because that's where we want to be. And like Spurs man is saying, what Deji's saying, he's not far off you. It's only October or just turned November. They're not
They're
far
Spurs.
off you with all this bravado and everything else. You're not far. Man United are a few points off you as well. So I love the league right now. The standard's improving. It's great to see Man City not dominating completely. It's great to see Arsenal up there. Great to see Liverpool have a little bump, but you know they can come back. Something when you talk about possession as well. I was watching some what I look at as heat maps and heat stats as well, and it's really interesting to see based on these heat maps about where you're controlling games. Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool, and Chelsea are the best teams who should be getting top 4 based on where they've got control of the football. You know, that's really quite clear. Spurs and Man United are getting there, really getting there, but they still need to sort of tweak a few things to get to step it up, I think. So this show is fantastic because you talk about Big Six. The 6, imagine, it's not a top 2 race anymore. There's 6 teams in with a shout, still in the fall, in autumn. So we cannot, you can do your goggly eyes all you want, but you have to be honest here, bro. You have to be honest.
Chelsea speaking facts.
I want to hear from Chelsea fan as well, because regardless, it takes time to get going, to get those wheels going, to start picking up momentum. And you know, classic Man United.
So what? Now we're inviting Man United and Chelsea for this title.
Listen, I wouldn't say yet because we haven't got a sign play yet.
Go ahead, Deals.
United. I'll be 100.
I want to hear what the Chelsea. Listen, I want to hear what the Chelsea man has to say because they've had a few ups and downs. They've got a new manager as well. We played them last week. Let me just talk about this, Deals. We played you a couple of last week, I think it was. We were bossing you like we bossed Spurs. It's disrespect, Dej. I think it's a tactical thing. We bossed Spurs. They made the wrong decision, I feel. And you made a decision after 30 minutes, took Cucurella off and put another man in midfield and then put a man on Mount on Casemiro. And we suddenly didn't have any space. And it was like stalemate. We were just bumping heads. So your Potter is a good manager for sure. It just takes time. You can't make rash decisions. Oh, Potter's poor because he messed up a few games. We lost 4-0 to Brentford, you know? So it doesn't matter. But once you get that momentum going, which you will, and he gets the right players in and he gets the balance, unfortunately, James is out kind of thing, then you will be kicking off. So over to you, Chelsea. And big up
Gunner King for letting me come on, my brother. Yeah, with Chelsea at the moment, there's a lot of experiment going on at Chelsea at the moment. Potter's trying to figure out what's the best formation for him at the moment because he's playing. He was playing Sterling at wing back. Now he's changed, playing Sterling playing wing back. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Does it sound mad?
No, it's all good.
You're good.
Yeah. He was playing Sterling as wing back. My question is, Sterling can't play wing back, can he? What's your thoughts on Sterling being wing back? Because I reckon he needs to start playing Sterling in the winger position where his natural position is.
You got to change your formation. That's the thing. Look, I respect what Omondi's saying, bro, but you're not in like the gap between Arsenal, City, Chelsea, Man United, Spurs is like we're not just talking about a points gap here. Like there's a real quality gap that you can see, right? Like Spurs might be playing Tuesday and Wednesday night football, but if you look at how we're playing, like, you know, like I genuinely at this moment, there is only one team that I'm thinking can really, on our day, if we're playing our best football, that we really, really, really are gonna have to have our thinking caps on for. And with the greatest respect, it's not United.
I'll be real.
With the greatest respect, it's not Spurs.
My squad.
It's this man down here. That's it. Like, you know, it's City, bro.
I'm gonna throw a curveball. I said to someone yesterday, I'm not ruling Man United getting. I'm not ruling Man United out of getting second. Honestly, I'm not.
Yeah,
they'll get top 4. I think they'll get top
second. 4. I'm not ruling Man United out from getting second. I'm not. I'll just Ten Hag for me, is a worrying manager. I'll be 100. Like I want to slander United. I don't like. But
respect.
The minute I saw I go by interviews. I always speak on Arteta's first interview. I thought Arteta had left City too early till I heard his interview, his first interview. And the minute I heard his interview, and I heard what he was talking about, how he'd noticed that, you know, everyone at the club were pulling in different directions. And it was like, this guy's learned off Pep. Instantly, it was like, fuck me. He actually has taken. And that's why from day one, I have always been saying to Arsenal fans, you need to trust the process. Because Ozil, I will tell you straight, I have never rated Ozil, yeah? Because he's, bro, real talk. Oh, yeah, he can look sensational when you man are 2-1 up. The minute you're drawing or concede, the guy goes missing, yeah? And he's the type of player that someone like Pep Guardiola would never have in his team because he ain't pulling weight. We see Leroy Sané. Our fan base loved Leroy Sané, yeah? Sensational going forward. The amount of times I witnessed Pep nearly drag him after subbing him on because he wasn't tracking back, yeah? And with Ozil, that thing, you could see that he's only there when it was all green. When the grasses started turning dull, Ozil was nowhere to be seen. And I was seeing these things, and Arteta saw it straight away. Arteta went in there, and I could see it that he didn't have the luxury of Pep to be able to walk in, look at the landscape, and after one season go, this is what I need, no problem. He got told, you got to balance the books, rude boy. Then you can have what you need, yeah? So he wasn't just doing the job as a manager. He was having to do the job of balancing books. And that's why it took him a while to get in. I always used to say, Arsenal, you got sexy kits, yeah? You're a fashionable club. You've been signing players ever since basically the stadium thing. You've been signing players that have been joining your club for wrong reasons, yeah? They're joining Arsenal because it's a fashionable club. It's in the capital, right? And it's a known club. It's a big club, right? Arteta's changed that. He's signing players that are joining a project. They're joining for the right reasons. They're joining to be part. And that is why when you played Chelsea in the summer and you beat them 4-0, I said, this is because of the players you've got. You've gone and got. You think Jesus and Zinchenko are going to leave the Premier League champions, right? Who between them they've won four leagues each, I think it is. Mm-hmm. You think they're going to be happy to walk into a club because at the time you man were being mocked for losing out on players during the summer by Tottenham and Chelsea fans. And I thought, do you think Jesus and Zinchenko are going to be there cool with that? They're going to be saying to all the other youngers there, saying, no, I haven't joined this club to be laughed at. Let's go and show Chelsea what we were about. Now, the same way with Arteta, when I watched the Ten Hag interview on the pitch after the Arsenal game, and every interview he's done on the pitch after games at home, it's the way he talks. It's the way when he gets asked football questions by actual football man, not interviewers, actual football man, he can talk about football. He can talk, and it's not like he's having to stop and think. He's not throwing curveballs. He's answering the questions with a philosophy. And that straight away is like, yeah, the man's got a philosophy. And this is a key. Again, with Conte, I'll be honest, Conte has a philosophy. It's very different to Pep's. It's very different to Ten Hag's. But he does have a way of doing it. Arteta has a way of doing it. Can anyone tell me what Tuchel's was? And I'm just using Tuchel as an example, but you couldn't necessarily tell me what Tuchel was about. And I think that's the thing that scares me with Ten Hag. He's getting players that
he's getting more out of players that he shouldn't be. Like, you know what I mean? I've noticed as well. Yeah,
that's the coach's job. You want to see development from the coach.
They're actually the thing is, they've dramatically changed, and this is why this is the difference. I'm not just trying to shit on Spurs here, yeah, but this is the fundamental difference, right? Is they're trying to get the ball on the ground and they're trying to play it. You know, they're trying to dictate games more. They're trying to control games a bit more. It's still a work in progress, but you're seeing an evolution take place in how they are playing. Like, they're being more progressive. I think if they, you know, I looked at the game against Newcastle. You know, like I looked at the game against Spurs, and I'm thinking if they had a front man, you know, like that could really kind of get on the end of more of these chances, they could be dangerous. And I like the way he handled Ronaldo, because what you was talking about with the Ozil situation was very similar to how he came in and he walked into this problem. He didn't ask for this problem. He walked in, the problem was there, and he had to address the elephant in the room. And he addressed it in a way it needed to be addressed. And the thing is, this is why there is that kind of, I'm not saying I'm saying at this moment, United aren't in the title race. Yeah, like to Omondi, yeah, to counter what he said. But to say that United aren't improving, to say that I'm not looking over my shoulder, I'm looking over my shoulder more at United than Tottenham. Not because I hate Tottenham, but because I'm seeing more progression in the way that they're playing. I'm seeing they beat us. Spurs didn't. Okay, we played them away. Yeah. Okay, we played them away. No, I'm not saying it for pettiness. Yeah. What I'm saying is they've got the best record against the Big Six this season.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? So the point I'm trying to make is, yeah, absolutely, United are improving, but I just think to go back to how this conversation started, I'm not taking any of that away from Man United. I'm just saying at this moment, I don't think they're in the race. Now that could change, and I think
for me personally, I think Man United are in the race. And where I agree with Omondi and you, King, in relation to Erik ten Hag, for me, I always thought that a manager is someone that needs to come in, assess the squad, and then based on the squad, come up with a system that works for the players. I've seen that with Erik ten Hag. He's gone in. He can't play the possession football that he usually does at Ajax because he hasn't got the players yet. He needs a De Jong in the midfield, that kind of thing. But he's seen the players that he's got, and he's saying, you know what, the best system that I can play is hit on the counter. Conte
they've not been playing counter-attacking football though, bro.
They
did against
they were at first. They're transitioning out of it.
They were transitioning out of it, but they have been doing the counter. Whereas I think that Conte is trying to shoehorn a style of play that doesn't suit the players. So for me, I've been saying on other streams that he's got Tottenham players running around like Kenyan marathon runners doing the steeplechase.
what we just said, about transitioning out of a counter-attack, being a counter-attacking team. Sorry, Dej, I didn't mean to interrupt there, but the difference is I don't see the Spurs making the effort to transition out of being that team. And I'm just saying in terms of challenging for titles, winning titles, and winning trophies, you don't. In cup competitions that might run, but not in league title races, man. Counter-attacking teams don't win those things, like not often. You know, more often than not, it is aggressive and possession-heavy and dominant teams that win the leagues. You know, they even challenge for them. You know,
I would agree with you, but Conte will say that is the system that he adopted with Chelsea. That was the system that he adopted with Inter. And dare I say, I totally agree with you, King. You know, one of the few things that me and you will ever agree on in any show. But when you break it down, I don't like it. I don't think it can last. I don't think it's going to bring success. But who gives a shit what I think? Because right now, Tottenham are in the last 16 of the Champions League, whether we like it or not. And Tottenham are third.
Yeah, and that is valid. Do you know what? The one thing I would say on United, so last night I was having a chat with Cass and Ty gone. It was Cass it was Cass and Suits were both here, right? And we were talking about the Champions League, and I said this is a thing about United, right? That, and I guess City and Tottenham are similar, I believe, in the Champions League. But Man United, if Man United get back in the Champions League next season, Manchester United fans will believe they can win the Champions League. They will believe. Now, I'm not saying they're saying, yes, we're going to win it, but they will, if they're in the Champions League, yeah, we could do this because they've done it before. Same with Liverpool because they've done it before. Whereas there'll be some City fans that will come out here and say, yeah, we can win it. Now, I do believe we could win it, but my feelings is because of everything I've experienced in my lifetime, going to games home and away, is that we haven't done it yet. So I don't know what that feels like. When Real Madrid scored their first goal against us at the Bernabeu, I could feel the feeling amongst every single Real Madrid fan there, and it was that they're going to score two more. Right now, Premier League last game of the season when we played Aston Villa. When we scored our first goal, no word of a lie, the conversation amongst every single City fan in the lower tiers was, we're getting on that pitch. We still had to score more goals, but the same as the way Real Madrid we knew that in the league. And this is where I feel that Man United are sorry, Deji, but are more of a threat than Tottenham because of the fact that they believe
they've been there and they've done it, man.
Yeah, and the worrying thing is that the biggest worry, and this is the point I was trying to get to. I don't know if you man have noticed, right? But over the years since, like, it used to be back in the day, teams got off coaches at Old Trafford shook. Yeah, it was like a 2-goal advantage to Man United when teams were getting off the coach. They were just shook to go to Old Trafford. Whereas over the years, you've got to a point where last season, when you're seeing Everton rock up at Old Trafford and man doing the Sue, yeah, like at Old Trafford, it's like, my God, this is not a fortress. It's crumbled. Yeah, man are mocking Man United at home. Now, fast forward to this season, and this is because their fan base is a monster it's been fucked up. Ten Hag has got that home spirit and that back very quickly. They've 4 clean sheets. The last 4 games, 4 clean sheets at Old Trafford. Old Trafford.
And he spoke about it in his interview as well, you know. He said
becoming a difficult play. Fan base is a monster that believes. Yeah, they proper believe. And it means some people don't believe in heritage, yeah. I believe in it. I do. And I think that's the issue with us in the Champions League at the moment. It is. We have to win it once. In the Premier League, we got that. But Man United and Arsenal and Chelsea and City, and I'm not. I was saying this to Deji before he left because now he's left it, but it's because Tottenham haven't got that.
That's it. That's it. That's exactly it.
Whereas Man United, if Man United under Ten Hag, like in the top 3 and within points distance in March, their fan base will fully fucking believe that they can win the league.
The thing is, though, it's the same. Look, you got the rivalry with United, yeah. It's the same with us with Chelsea and our City, bro. Like Chelsea could do that, you know. Like they could. Chelsea last season, they had rocky moments. Look at it. They went through the sanctions. You know, they went through the injury to Chilwell, to James, and listen, they still just shitted out third like it was nothing. Do you know what I mean?
Liverpool,
you know,
but look at Liverpool in the champ. Like if I talk about most of my life, I've seen Liverpool win 1 league, yeah, but I've seen Liverpool win 2 Champions Leagues already, yeah. Like when they've been shit, when they haven't been that good, because in the Champions League, they know how to do it. Doing something the first time is the hardest thing to do, right? And
what you're saying is like it's muscle memory for certain clubs. They've got that in there to produce, and at certain moments. So I'm not, but I do think City. This thing about the thing about getting the Champions League, you got to the final or whatever. That's once you get that, then you know you can breathe. And the same applies to Man United. We're a decade without a title. Chelsea, since the 2000s, have probably been the best out of the 4 of us. As in 2 Champions League,
I think in the last 15, 20,
it was Chelsea,
thing.
You know,
so
Chelsea. I want to know from Deals.
That's the Roman Abramovich era.
Yeah, they won the second most amount of domestic trophies and the most amount of European ones in the Roman era.
So once you got that hoodoo off your back, I think maybe you can do it. And this is what I mean when we talk about banter, it always refers back to Spurs 1961, not winning the league and for so long, that kind of thing. And I think it's more about the fans than anything else. Once you get a good coaching and you got a good philosophy of play and you can see some development, that's when it's going to happen. I don't believe in all that. I think it's all a myth. What you're saying. Here we go. Aussie Gooner coming on wicked.
You see what it is with Spurs, yeah? You see what it is with Spurs, you guys, yeah? You see what it is with Spurs? I've said all along, yeah? Like, you know, I think when I dismissed earlier, yeah, in the beginning of the show, them being in the title race, because it is Spurs. If United were in this position that Spurs were in right now, I would be addressing their claim very differently. If it was Chelsea, yeah, and I'm not saying this. I'm not saying this to dump on Spurs, yeah. But you've explained it really well with the muscle memory, I think, Omondi, yeah, and with what Daps was saying, yeah, like they just don't have that memory yet. Now the thing is, I feared Spurs more under Poch than I do under Conte. Okay, they didn't win anything under Poch, but there was that 2-year period where they like scored the most goals, conceded the least, got the most wins. I don't know how they didn't win anything in that time. Like there was that period where obviously they got to the Champions League final, where they were just on smoke. But the thing is, it wasn't just that they were doing well. It was that they would come to the Emirates and believe they could win. They would go Old Trafford and believe they could win. They would go to the Etihad and believe they could win. And the play, how progressive it was and how threatening and menacing it was and how they were controlling games, it mirrored that belief. Yeah. I really felt Spurs posed a threat. And for me, when my mindset changed a bit, was Stamford Bridge. When they went there, and I'm thinking, Tuchel, the questions were being asked of him. Chelsea were on their knees. They weren't playing good football. They'd had a few unconvincing performances. In my opinion, Chelsea were there for the taking in that moment. They had Kulusevski fit. They had Romero fit. They had Kane and Son fit. And listen, I went on record saying that before I had seen Haaland play at the beginning of the season, going into it, because I hadn't seen Haaland play, that they have the best attack in the league. Yeah, and after City now, I would say on paper, they still have the best attacking players in the league. Functioning as an attack, that's different. But in terms of Harry Kane and Son, and for me, it's
over
like...
the last 2 seasons, I think Harry Kane and Son statistically probably were. Maybe Salah and Mane might have been maybe there as well. But
yeah.
Kane and Son had, over the last couple of seasons, they'd done enough to statistically be
They did. I think up until that Chelsea game, they had scored the most amount of goals in 2022. Their front three.
One thing we have to be clear about here is not you could have look at PSG. It's systems win games. Not
here we go. There we go.
So we can say, oh yeah, Kane and Son. We're not playing trump cards here. It's about the system.
There you go.
In a good system, it works.
Arsenal are ahead of Tottenham right now, not because we've got better players, but because we've got a better system.
Reece Nelson came on the other day in a good system, which he's been watching from the bench with hungry eyes, knowing his contract's running down, and he's incorporated himself. He put the hard work in, and he fitted in to that system and looked like $1 million. So it's the systems win games, not players, in my opinion. So I don't want to talk about. I think this is what is letting them down. Is I just think, I don't doubt their system, Tottenham's, in cup competitions. Although Conte's not got a good record in Europe, I think maybe the domestic cup competitions, shithousing wins in the last minute, that works there. Chelsea were a good cup side, in Europe, where they a lot of limbs wins like that, but to be consistent over 38 games, I just think our system is going to trump Tottenham's. Yes, there might be injuries. I want to hear from Ozzy as well, but just one quick thing, yeah. The pre-season, Conte had them man puking, for blowing chunks and all that kind of thing. That's for the marathon. That's for the forget the system makers. They can endure and they can soak it up. And come Christmas, come January, February, March, they might still be going based on what the work they put in. It's like in boxing. The hard work's done in the training camp. The fight becomes easy. So I'm interested to see how they last out. That's why I'm not writing them off. Sorry, Ozzy Gooner.
You see, you had a point there, and I think all the boys are making the point where systems win games, and that is a fact in all. It is all systems. You look at Manchester City's system. I look at Arsenal's system. I look at Manchester City's system. It just looks like Arsenal have fucking copied their system a little bit here and like a BTEC. You know what I mean? And it's working for us. But we've got the right personnel to play that style of football, much like Manchester City do. So look, they've got no Haaland right now, but they're still getting results. And they can always play with a false nine because they're not just a 1D team. Man United, right? Man United without Ten Hag, right, were useless. They didn't know if they were coming, going. Luke Shaw, right now under Ten Hag, looks like a new player. Now, I know that sounds stupid, but I'm watching this fucking prick, and he's playing wonderfully. I look at your back line, previous seasons to now, and I was at a pub watching you guys play Southampton, and I was looking at your back line like I look at Arsenal. I'm like, Jesus, these guys are holding a straight line. And it was only 5 minutes of Ten Hag. So the fact that systems win games, that is spot on. You can have the best front three in the league, but if you play a style of football that is defensive, then you're not going to utilize these players. And if you're not going to grab what you have, right, and use them effectively in a system that suits the players that you have on the pitch, then you've got no chance. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer played the style of football he did with the squad that he had because that was all he could do. Now, everyone threw him under the bus, but with the team that he had, what else could he bloody do? He got a tune out of that squad, right? And then they threw him under the bus. Ragnick came in and said, this is a joke. Ten Hag came in, he made some signings, and he was able to get the shape that he wanted. Now, Conte at the moment, he had apparently a good preseason, right? He got the players that he wanted. But what gets to me is you've got Son and you've got Kane, two players that Gunner King has already said have been so fluent going forward, looking anemic. You got Richarlison that everyone bigged up. How many goals has he scored in the Prem? And what is this? Is this a manager's fault? Is this a system fault? It's a player's fault. I start to think that you need to have the right players to suit your system. And at Spurs at the moment, it's not working. At Chelsea at the moment, you can't blame Potter, theoretically, because he's only just walked in. He ain't even got a chance to pick his players, let alone his squad.
Only lost one game in 10, bro.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Hold on. There's key with this. This is
Yes.
the one thing, right? The team they played and lost were playing his system.
Yeah, a possession-based team.
Yeah. So he
Brighton outpunched
squad against
them
ourselves.
with a possession-based team, bro. Like,
You get me the right players, you can have a system working like that, right? That is it. And let me.
Yeah.
Brighton came to the Etihad, and the first team for I don't know how long had more possession than us. Like the difference was we had De Bruyne and Haaland. That's it. That was the difference.
But see, Daps, this is what I'm saying about Arsenal and staying the course in this, where we are at the moment. We've got the system to be able to, but I think the players with the experience and the quality, that's a different question. But we certainly got the system, to be able to do that.
I want to speak on Jesus quickly in a minute, but just quickly, the other thing is, if you go back and look at City last season, I remember when we dropped points against Palace, and I went on a bit of a rant saying, previous seasons, like I said, we could have won this league if we would have beat Palace. I said we could run away with the league last season, but we dropped points, and I said clearly we want to go into a title race with Liverpool. I don't know why, but my worry is, and this last season is, at that point, I don't know who's going to step up. We're looking at previous seasons when we've been in title races. We've had Company, we've had Aguero, we've had Silva, we've had Yaya, we've had players that are stepping up and being, dragging the team over the line. And at that point, this was around late February, I said, I don't know who's going to do it for us this season. At that point, Kevin De Bruyne stepped up, and I think probably every other game he scored a goal. In several games, he scored more than a goal. De Bruyne dragged us over the line last season, and that is the thing that we have the system. Now, to move on to, because I'm seeing slander on Jesus at the moment. Now, anyone that knows me knows I won't take slander on Jesus, right? I am a huge advocate of Gabriel Jesus, more than most City fans. Our fan base last season, it was beautiful that he left us at the end of last season, because last season was when our fan base actually really started appreciating him. So it's like, you know what? Yeah, we get it. And the thing with him is, it was like last season, I don't know if anyone's noticed this. Both games before we played Liverpool, he got dropped, right? So before we played Liverpool, home and away, Jesus got dropped, right? Not dropped, benched, kept safe. Because against Liverpool, he was so important. Those type of games. He is, and all summer I went on loads of different Arsenal's channels, asked about, can Jesus get 15 plus goals? And it was a hard question, because I was like, well, I don't know, because he's only been played through he got played through the middle when he landed at City and scored 8 in 11, right? Then he got injured the start of the next season. His first big injury, was out for a period. And then after that was always being rotated for Aguero. So he's never had a run. Then he got pushed out wide. I said, what I can tell you is your team's output will go up by having Jesus, yeah? Because what that man knows how to do is, and he is a definition of a Pep Guardiola player. You watch any interview, the minute Haaland's landed, his interviews, when he's asked about his goals, he's like, the most important thing is the team won, right? That is what Pep drums into every single player. This isn't about no individual player. Individual brilliance is great, because in certain games, it can get you over the line. That might be why we've got Haaland. But the actual core of Pep Guardiola is the system. You are part of a team. A season is 60 games, 65, 70 games. If you don't play this game, it doesn't matter, because you'll be playing another game. You look at people that say as bit part players for City. They're playing 35 to 40 games a season, and they're bit part, right? because at the end of the season, when you're lifting multiple trophies, and that's what you get from Jesus, he is the most. I've already seen a couple of examples pre-season. Think he'd scored 3, and then he could have scored a 4th, and he rolled it onto I think it was Maitland-Niles to score, because it was like, you know what, you need this because I know your confidence needs this. You have this, and again the other day there was a moment where he could have took a shot on, right, but he knew nah. One more pass. Sorry,
John Daps. There was an interview by Martinelli. I don't know if anyone's seen it. Where he was talking about his form and all this kind of thing. And he said, someone said about signing the contract. His answer was, "Where's the pen?" I don't know if you've seen that quote. Yeah. So, but he was also, if you listen to it, he was endorsing Jesus a lot and Saka, but more so Jesus, saying he looks up and he's moving everywhere, and this is what gels the front three and gets some sort of fluid sort of movement between them, and it's the respect as well. He's come there as a senior, even though he's only 25, 26, something to prove. At the right time, known to Arteta, linking that attack
to be a leader amongst boys,
man. Really effective. And what my final point, I'm going to pass it on. My final point about Jesus, obviously we haven't seen the best of him at Manchester City. I thought, okay, he's a good player, and I thought, okay, he's playing for the Brazilian national team as well. But when we played Arsenal this year, and seeing him claw defenders' faces, what kind of frame is he? He must be about 10 stone or 11 stone, holding up the ball
South American
like
dog,
like a beast up there. He looked like Antonio the way he's holding up the ball. Defenders having to foul him and kick him, and oh my God, what's going on here? And I thought, what's going on? Who is this guy? Outstanding. And some of the chops and thing he's doing in the box in tight areas, outstanding. His leadership, you can see the rapport when he scores a goal, when someone else scores a goal. They're going to him. They're doing a little thing. You've got some Portuguese-speaking players. Martinelli's looking up to this guy. He's like when I've seen Anthony, how he's related to Ronaldo. He's looking at him and trying to join in with him and all that kind of thing. That's harmony within the squad. And that one player coming to your squad has made a world of difference. I'm stealing this from you, Christopher King, because you said this the other day, and I listened to you a lot, and I said, yeah, he's right. About this, you had Banyang and you had Lacazette, and this one player's come in and just.
He's a culmination of the two players. You know what I mean?
He's gelled the team together.
Over was a better finisher, but Lacazette worked more off the ball. Lacazette would kind of like link up the play well.
They can't clean his boots.
Yeah, I think he's got kind of the best qualities of both of them. He can still improve his finishing. But the thing is, I think he gives I think for me, I look more at than his goals. I look at how he's linking up the play with Martinelli. I'm looking at how he's linking up the play with Saka. I'm looking at how he's helping them develop as players. They needed someone to look up to in the dressing room, someone that can take the pressure off their shoulders. Because at the moment, him not scoring goals, that's taking all the pressure off Martinelli and Saka, and that's why they're shining.
Yeah, that's a really good point as well. Actually, that's the one thing, he does put pressure on himself to score goals. He does. Yeah, he saw that at City. That he does it in big games. Himself.
He does it in big games, like Daps said. He always got rested for the big games. Real Madrid last season, Liverpool. He does it in big games. So for me, I'm not worried about him not scoring at the moment because I'm still watching the game.
If your team's winning, it doesn't matter who's scoring your goals.
He's still performing well in all of these games. There's not been a single one of those 7 games where he's put in a 6 or a 5 out of 10 performance. He's still put in. If you watch him, and in terms of the impact that he's having with his movement off the ball, with winning the ball in the attacking third, with delegating and telling people where to be and sort of get involved in the press as well. He's doing all the right things. So I'm not fazed by him. I think, what is it, 10 goal involvements in 12 games, and people are worried about the fact he hasn't scored in 7.
But the fact is, I know he hasn't scored. Everyone wants their number 9 to score goals. Everybody wants that. But at the same time, if your number 9 can bring in another dynamic, you see, Aubameyang was a great goal scorer, right? if the ball lands in front of him, he'll score a goal.
Yep.
But that's about
Yep.
it. If he can't do, if
Yep.
it doesn't land in front of him,
Yep.
forget it. He can't hold up the game. He can't really
Yep.
assist. He can't lay off the ball. He can't bring forward control the forward pack. He can't really do much more. Jesus at the moment, like I'm one that wants his number 9 to score, but when I see him getting an assist, when I see him making runs that shifts defenders over to get Saka to get into space, when I see him hustling for the ball, harrying for the ball, when I see him taking on defenders, these are all positives from a number 9. Now, look, yes, all this is happening. Our team is winning games, but our goals are spread out. Now, everyone's like, well, what do you mean our goals are spread out? Both our wingers are scoring goals like you won't believe. Our midfield at Arsenal, when has any Arsenal fan seen every single one of their midfielders score a goal?
At this stage of the season, there are only 3 players from the Premier League that have got more than 5 goals and 5 assists in all competitions. One's Mohamed Salah. One is Gabriel Jesus, and the other is Saka.
Mm-hmm.
Gunner King.
Do you know what? There's a way you can look at it even more so, right? And just this is across any team. So you're spot on. Last season, we've got Haaland this season, but last season we scored the most goals in the top 5 European leagues, and we won the league, may I add, right? Our top goal scorer is Mahrez, right? And Mahrez wasn't in no, race for the golden boot or nothing. But if you look at the key, we have to remember, right? The key to football is winning games, right? Individual stats of individual players, if you think about it, the people that are focusing on those are supporting teams that right now aren't where they want to be, right? And here's the thing. If you look at Arsenal right now, you've got Jesus doing what he's doing. You're top of the league, right? But people focus, well, so-and-so scored more than Gabriel Jesus. It's like, bro, we're top of the league, right? So now, if we were to go, and Jack Grealish, for example, Jack Grealish hasn't got a goal or an assist, right? And someone said to me, how do you feel on a stream? How do you feel that Alisson has got more assists than Jack Grealish? And I go, it was actually an Arsenal fan. I said, that's mad coming from an Arsenal fan. I said, but how do I feel? I don't really care. He goes, what? So you wouldn't want Jack Grealish to have more goals than assists? I said, oh, of course I want. I said, but
we're winning games.
And I actually turned to a United fan and said, right, we scored 6 goals against you, right? Jack Grealish didn't get 1 goal or 1 assist. Was Jack Grealish good in that game? Yeah, very good. Right, okay, cool. So, and another example to Liverpool, that when Liverpool have been winning trophies, right, and Trent has been getting assist after assist after assist after assist, I will be the first one to defend Trent and say, why are people focusing on his defending, right? Because as a team, their defense is fine, right? Their defense is generally fine. They're winning trophies, yeah? They're competing. Why are you focusing on that? Now, this season, where all of a sudden he needs to defend, okay, no problem. Now talk about the fact that the system is not working, but that's the system's fault for me, not Trent. Trent hasn't changed. Trent never been good defending. Get your system to back him. Cancelo for us. Cancelo defensively, don't think he's that good, but he's pivotal. Edison, a shot stopper, not one of the best in the league, but he's pivotal to how we play football. So we keep him there because for the good of the team, we put in Zach Stefan. All of a sudden, every player has to step 10 yards back because they're worried about a mistake from the goalkeeper. Everyone has to play their role in a system. And right now, if you are top of the league, your system is working. People that are trying to pick out individual players is to suit their agenda because they're not happy with where their team is. That's ultimately it.
The reason why they can see it is because they got to look up. That's my thing to it. It's like we can see all these problems at Arsenal, because you got to keep looking up to see it. Look, wouldn't any football fan out there, wouldn't you like to see your goals come from more than one angle? Because let's be honest, if you've got a great goal scorer, right, you got one or two great goal scorers, you can mark them out of the game. I can mark them out of the game. Look, imagine if Saka was the only player, Saka and Martinelli were the only 2 players that are an attacking threat at Arsenal. I bump Saka, now he's off, and I mark Martinelli out of the game. Arsenal lose or draw. But when you got goals coming in from numerous players, it's still not over till it's over. You know, you can take out Saka. You can try and man mark Martinelli. You still got Jesus. You still got Odegaard doing bits. You still got Partey. You still got Granit Xhaka doing bits. For God's sake, it's not a one-dimensional team. It's a 2-3D team, and that's where it's like, well, how do we control that? Exactly. Who do you take out? Who do you focus on? Exactly. You know what I mean? And that's the same thing that's happening at Man United now. Because it's not, it's all Ronaldo. Watch Ronaldo. Bollocks to that. You got Anthony doing bits. You got Rashford doing fucking bits. You got Eriksen doing bits. Bruno Fernandes is putting in dangerous balls. Now most of them might not come off, but that's what happens when you play that role. Mesut Ozil will create chances, but if no one can finish them, then they don't count. Fernandes will create a chance. No one finishes it. It's like, oh well, that was wasteful. No, wait till someone finishes, and then when someone finishes their dinner, now he's an attacking threat. It's about having a team that can be fluent going forward and can spread out their goals. And if you can do that, if you can have more than a one-dimensional team or a one-player focused team, then you're going to be up there top of the league. We had Aubameyang firing guys. Remember that when Aubameyang was firing? Golden boot, blah, blah, blah. Where the fuck did we finish? Where were we?
Seventh or sixth. Yeah, sixth.
We were fucking shambles. Now, Jesus isn't firing. Yeah, but everyone else is. I'm happy where I'm at, bro. I'm honestly, Daps, I'm with you, mate. It's about spreading out your goals. It's about being more one-dimensional. And look at City. That's a pit. That's them.
Even with United as well. I was saying with Rashford as playing through the middle, I was like, it won't. For me, Rashford's form has come back this season. Rashford's been good, but as in playing through the middle, I was like, this isn't good for him because he's not scoring playing through the middle, and eventually his confidence will take that knock again. But watch when someone else comes in and Rashford can be pushed out wide, his output will go up because the system will suit him more out there. Ronaldo came in, Rashford moved to the 9. I have no doubt when Martial comes back, United will move up a level because the system can move up a level. Because at the moment, I know Ronaldo can play the 9, but the other day when he was playing in that role, there was at one point where it was a really, really good transition, really good piece of play. Pass went into Ronaldo in a position where I believe that with Martial, there would have been one more pass. Ronaldo took the shot on himself and he wasn't in a position to take a shot on himself. And I thought, right, that's because they haven't got the right man for that system anymore. He's naturally, this is where I do this. It's like, no. The way the move went, if it was Rashford there would have been one more good pass on and someone else would have got the goal, right? But because Ronaldo was there, and I just think Martial is going to make a massive difference coming back to Man United.
There's a similar thing at Chelsea because I was watching Chelsea against Salzburg with a Chelsea fan, and one of the chances that Oba had saved, the second one, the whole play built up from their goalkeeper.
Yep,
it built up from their goalkeeper.
Yeah, I remember that.
It went from Kepa to the opposition's final third into their box. The chance was laid onto Oba, and he could have made another pass as well. He could have. Sterling was there. He was open.
You know what he should have done? He should have put it back of the net. That's what he should have done. That's what he should have done.
But I think the point I want to harp back on is again I think the real danger with Spurs is that Potter and
Ten
Hag are good managers. They are good managers. And when I say they're good managers, they haven't won the trophies that Conte has. They don't have the experience.
But they're not one dimensional.
You know what it is?
What they have is they're expansive. You know what I mean? They will try and dominate teams. They will try and play football. They will try and build up patterns of play, create triangles. You know, they are trying to do the right things. The problem they have deals just 1 second, the problem they have here is it's a personnel problem. But when we talk about United looking threatening again, it's because they were a counter-attacking team and they did counter-attack against us because at that moment they don't yet have the personnel to go toe-to-toe with us on a possession thing. So what they did is they countered us, but they have not been a counter-attacking team in their other games. This is the point I'm saying. With Tottenham right? They do not seem to be demonstrating an end game where it's like, okay, the counter-attacking was a means to an end. For them, it is the ends to a means, and the sustainability in them being able to go 38, 39 games, constantly going behind and digging out results in the dying minutes, or looking at the probability of Man United or Chelsea and now Newcastle, who have won 16 points from their last 18, the probability of these teams dominating teams, going 1 or 2 goals ahead and not conceding, what are you betting on?
Sorry, just a quick point. With Spurs, I think the system's okay. It's proven. Conte is a good manager. He's won titles elsewhere. I know.
Neither were Inter Milan and neither were Juventus. They were not a counter-attacking team.
I never interrupted, please. I just got to make a small point, and then I've done. I move.
Oh, but I just want to make that very clear that like Conte's previous teams that he managed,
he had players.
He had players.
He had players at Chelsea that were ready made at Chelsea.
Precisely.
You're forgetting.
Precisely. But go for it, Omondi. I'm with you.
I made my point. Right. I agree with you, Chris. What you said about Spurs, the main issue for me, from what I'm seeing with the eye test, is they don't have good enough fullbacks or wing backs.
No,
that's
they don't.
Key
or centre backs.
And centre back, I think they're all right. I think they're right centre back.
You think they're all right?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
They are. They are.
I don't think so. Name me the centre backs. Name me the centre backs again.
Oh yeah,
I'm talking about the system. I'm talking about the system, not the players.
Yeah,
look who's the left back, the left-footed Welsh guy. What's the name? Ben Davis, for example. You're talking about players. You say, yeah, he's shit. He's championship level. No, he's not, because he's playing in a system that works for him, and now he looks a great player who's playing in Champions League and standing up to better, good teams. So it's about the system at the back.
What good teams? What good teams? What good teams?
Champions League level, elite teams, Champions League level.
Yeah.
You might not think so, but you got like Europa League winners, Frankfurt, who hurt teams. You got who else in their group?
I don't read.
Marseille, who at the very Velodrome, a tough team to beat. You might not say that, but I do think it still is the Champions League, regardless of it.
I've said it all along. Yeah, with Tottenham. I say it all along. I say it all along with Tottenham. Yeah, the problem over there at Tottenham is their philosophy over there. The way they play over there, they're not comfortable when the other teams they come and attack at them. That's their main struggle. That's
Can I slide tackle that, please? Put your seat pads on. All right. I do think they are comfortable. That's why they set up like that. They can set up in the low block, being comfortable to teams raiding at them, and they can deal with it quite. The hardest thing you can do in football is break a team down. If you've got players behind the ball and you say, break us down, look at Man City. They're the best team in football at the moment. And sometimes they go like 80 minutes and not score because until the teams get exhausted, shuffle left, shuffle right, shuffle. So I think once you set up like that, So going back to Spurs, my point is I do agree with GunnerKing. It's just with them, the wing backs, when I see Emerson, Royale going forward or in the final third, and maybe the Croatian dudes, maybe getting past it now, but beyond that, they've got Session. They need better players there, and they would be effective. But what it works, the system's okay. There, it's just that, like Ozzy Gooner was saying, I don't think the personnel in key positions where they get their wit from is good enough at the moment. That's my point.
See, with Spurs, one sec. With Spurs, you know what it was, and this is for me real quick. I'm sorry to jump in, but with Spurs, the problem is they are playing a counter-attacking football. They were doing that at Chelsea, right? Latimer's Prime made a good point there. They did play counter-attacking football at Chelsea. Deals made a good point there. They had better players. With Spurs right now, they went and got Yves Bissouma. He's a DM. When we played them, North London Derby, everyone was talking about their front three. I said Arsenal were going to win this game in the midfield. And you know why? Because at the end of the day, they can't transition through the middle of the park. They haven't got a...
They can't.
They haven't got a 10. They went and got a DM. Oh, we got Bissouma. You didn't need a DM. You've got bloody Højbjerg and you've got Bentancur, who are very similar. You needed a guy who can an Eriksson, who's at your place now that they didn't want. But anyway, look at that. That worked out fucking well. Good idea, that one. Yeah. That was a strategic move, that one, because he would have done bits. They only go down the flanks. So the problem here is, right, I'm going to compare Arsenal to Spurs and not banter. I've got a winger in Martinelli. I've got a winger in Saka. Where is Emerson Royale going to be? Where is Ben Davies going to be? They're going to be back. So when they have to come forward, they've got to transition through the wing. They can't come through the middle of the park. if you take 2 seconds on a counter attack too slow, it's all over. My back line straightens up and you got nothing. And that's the problem with Spurs. When you push them back, when you have wingers that are decent wingers that can push them back, and they're players like Sessegnon and Emerson Royal have to come back to help defend, the transition is too slow because they can't come through the middle of the park. Højbjerg and Bentancur are not good enough for that. They needed an Eriksen. So now they're just going down the flanks. That's easy to shut them down. Yes, it's a personal issue, but at the same time, if I'm Conte and I want to play this style of football, I need to adapt like Ten Hag. I need to adapt like Potter. I don't have a number 10. So what? I'm going to be just going down the flanks and praying and hoping? Come on. You got to do better. And that's why I think Conte, and I call him a testadura. In Italian, that's hard-headed. You can't stick to the same shit all the time. Sometimes you got to switch it up. Erik Ten Hag did it. Potter with Brighton used to chop and change his formation to suit every single team. Every single team he chopped and changed his formation with the personnel. You need to be able to do things like that.
It's spot on. I mean, again, I'm going to stick with Brighton and talk Pep quickly. When we played Brighton the other week at the Etihad, I was noticing.
Oh Lord.
What's that?
Brighton beat Chelsea. Who said Trossard? Who said Trossard?
He doesn't want to think about Brighton, does he?
Oh
When we played Brighton, bro, this is the thing. When we played Brighton, straight away, very early on, I was noticing we were pressing. We usually all three of our forwards will press at the same time. Haaland was the only one pressing, right? And I'm thinking, this is weird. We're really not pressing them. Haaland was pressing centrally, but left-sided and right-sided, we were not pressing them. And I realised it was because Pep had thought, this is where they can get at us. They'll get at us down the sides. And we've got a Kanji at right-back, Cancelo at left-back, but the way we play our left and right-back, they kind of invert in.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right? So he was like, we can't have, and we have at the moment, because of Walker being injured, we have Mahrez and we have, whether it be a Kanji, whether it be Stones, today it was Rico Lewis. They're not Kyle Walker. When you have Kyle Walker, you can press high, because if they try and bypass your press, you've got Kyle Walker that can chase back and win it down very quickly. But it's like Pep knew, we ain't got Walker now. We can't be pressing as high, because if they find a way to bypass our press, we are in trouble. That's something that I don't think, and I think this is spot on. And I think this is slightly where Klopp's coming unstuck at the moment as well.
There we go.
And us.
Yeah, no, I think you have a James because he's just landed at your club. But you know, and even again, when we're talking about, it's very easy to defend with 10 men behind the ball. You look at the way Liverpool beat Man City. Liverpool were, if you look at their heat map, they were sat 10 yards deeper for the whole game, right? Just sit like that. Today, again with City, exactly what we were talking about earlier. We were having that. Seville had everyone behind the ball. First half, we were looking all right, but we weren't breaking them down. It was never going to happen. He had to bring Rodri on to change the pace of the game, because Rodri controls the pace of the game. And once you start getting that game, the ball moving faster, and players can't get back into position because the ball's moving about too much, spaces appear. And the minute spaces appear, that's where elite teams can put you to the sword. And it's just at the moment, it's like Conte is very one-dimensional. It's so clear. I think everyone except for Tottenham fans, I think, saw it in the summer. Your midfield's very bad. Your midfield is not really... Okay, maybe that's because you just want to go down the wings. But here's the issue now. It's like, but going down the wings, you're not good enough going down the wings for that to work week in, week out. You're not Trent. You're not Robertson. You're not Salah. You're not Mane. Like, that can work.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Look, I don't know about time and all that kind of thing. But this is sparking up a lot of good conversations, and I think it's really intelligent.
GunnerKing, when we can talk about our game.
I mean, that's what we were. Yeah, I think we was gonna look to wrap up soon. But
you lot need to talk about your game. I'll put the mic down and listen to you.
Let me just say this, because I was talking to GunnerKing earlier on, and I just put it out there. I said, this game is crucial for me because I want to see what Arsenal really have. And I know we're just talking about fullbacks and that being key. And I think you got an issue right now with Chelsea because
Yeah.
you're like
Chilwell's injured. Chilwell's injured.
Chilwell's out now. You know,
Reece James.
that's a position for you. So he needs to think about how he's going to play that. But I do think this is a massive test for Arsenal because people you were talking about earlier about being one-dimensional. One-dimensional teams get found out. There's so much data analysis and video analysis by these players in big clubs now assessing things. The reason Man United beat Arsenal is because I felt they were one-dimensional, but they're so they're so good at one thing that they're so good at one aspect of the game. Hold on, let me finish my point. They're so good at one aspect of the game that they can walk through most teams, as they did beat Liverpool and Spurs and all that kind of thing. They were very good, like playing football, free-flowing football, and being able to break down because your goalkeeper's brilliant. You can play free at the back, build a ball out from the back, using the free, the third man being the goalkeeper, and then suddenly you've got spaces. It's like 10 against 11 already, or sort of 10 against 9 already because they're trying to close you down, break the first press with that goalkeeper who's pinging balls, 2 feet from 30, 40 yards. That gives you the advantage. Plus, you've got a great system once you get in free flow play. So you've been exploiting a lot of teams and beating teams by just being better than them in that aspect. But I think where we beat you, we were resilient. We were able to play possession football with you at certain points in the first 20 minutes. Then we were also able to when you tried to get overloads by bringing your left back into midfield and all that kind of thing. We're not a counter-attacking team. We're a counter-pressing team. So we could counter-press in those areas. Bam, 1-2 passes, we're in, and we scored our goals. So that is a weakness, I feel, that I said at the time that I felt you need to deal with and get better skills to your bow. What was you think? More strings to your bow, whatever. Chris, you say that a lot. But that's what I think you need to do. And because you're all able to walk through teams. Sorry, my last point. As because you're able to walk through teams, I want to see how you. This is why I think this game is so important this weekend.
Look,
I want to see how you adapt.
Yeah.
I want to see how you adapt.
I'm sorry,
how far
Omondi.
you've come.
I'm sorry, Omondi.
Hold on.
I have to stop you there, bro. I have to.
No. Let me just make
Omondi, let me say this. Let me say this. Omondi, let me say this. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. Look, Omondi. Let me stop, right? So the Liverpool game, right? The Liverpool game, yeah, right. The first 45 minutes, Liverpool dominated for the most part. Yeah,
they did.
Both of our goals came from counter transitions. Yeah, so to say that we don't have it in us to be able to hit teams on the counter as well, right? We learned from that United game, in that Liverpool game. We learned, that not only do we need to be wary, when we are playing with a high line, with people that can get behind it, but also when we counter in those moments, that we can transition out from that. If you look at Saka's goal, and if you look at Martinelli's goal, both of those goals came from breaking down an attack and countering quickly. Yeah, and not
where did you counter? What area did you counter them?
So
where did you pitch the ball?
Middle of the park. It was just before, middle of the park. We were sort of in between the middle of the park and their box, if you remember, if I'm right. And then it was like 3 passes. I think it was Ben White to Odegaard. Odegaard flicked the ball out to was it to Martinelli, if I'm correct? Like through between Trent.
Yeah.
If that's true, I take that back. If that's the case,
and the point I'm saying there is in that first 45, we soaked up a lot of pressure. We had to, and our line did move a bit deeper to accommodate for that. But then also we sprung the same sort of traps that you sprung on us to get 2 of those goals. Do you see what I'm saying, right? So I get what you're saying, and I respect what you're saying in how you beat us. But to say that shows that we can't play differently. We have shown that, like in different games.
Please, if you listen to my point is why I think this game against Chelsea is so crucial. Because I, who don't go to every Arsenal game, want to see how far you've progressed, so I can make a better assessment in autumn, like we are now at this stage of season. Better assessment about where you're at. Because this is about the top 6 show. So I just want to make a better assessment to see. All right, they're playing Chelsea. Let's see how far they've come. Because it's 4 o'clock. On the Sunday, I'm going to be sitting down with my roast.
12 o'clock. 12 o'clock.
Oh, sorry,
12 o'clock.
Oh, I'm going to miss it.
I'm going to the game. I'm going to the game. I'm going to the game.
Deals, man. Lucky you got Deals here, man. He's going to set you up. Make sure you're there on time. This man. My man.
Nice
Guys,
job,
I'm
bro.
gonna have to do the dart. I'm sorry, but I have to do the dart. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Big up,
being in a
Lucy
conversation with you lads. Honestly, big up everyone in the chat. Honestly, it's been an
Where's
absolute
your
pleasure.
socials, man? I've seen you on Instagram and all over the place. But where are you? Where's your social?
Dude, man, I'm on Insta. I'm on YouTube, the Aussie Gooner channel, man. You know, I'm there, bro. I'm there. If I'm not on the Armoury, I'm on One Touch TV. You know what I mean? I'm here, there, and everywhere, bro.
Can I say one thing, Ozzy? Yeah,
of course.
When I first met you or seen you, I think, man, this guy's aggressive. But you haven't sworn
same,
once.
same.
Is there a swear jar going? You haven't sworn once today. And I was thinking, here we go. We'll be swearing.
You literally take
you
the
haven't
words out of my mouth.
bad
It's the
words
most
at all.
respectful person.
And every second word out of your mouth is usually an empty. I'm surprised.
Okay, you want me to change now? You want me to go?
No,
You want me to go?
I've done impressions of you. I've done because I've only seen. I saw you on one stream, right? You probably know which one it is. It was you and Deji, yeah. And
Yeah.
I've been telling like a few of my lot about you and doing impressions of you, saying like, 'cause that's exactly you're the most respectful person that I've like one of the most respectful people I've come across so far. I'm thinking, is this the same guy? Or
You won't like it when he's angry, though, bro. Trust me.
You know, it's a Jekyll and Hyde thing. You know, look. The thing is with me, we're having a great conversation. It's respectful. There are facts being thrown out there. It's all good. But if we're going to banter, we're going to chat shit. Well, it's going to go down a pathway that I don't think many people want to go down. You know what I mean? And I tell people, I go,
I do hear you on that one.
you better stop. You better stop. You better stop. You don't want to stop. I'm going to have to stop you now. And then it gets a bit much. But this has been a really good conversation because I've got my Man United man there. I've got my Chelsea man there. I've got Gunner King here, and everybody is making an argument. And the thing is, I'm taking in. I like to sit down and have a discussion with people where I can learn something. And what I'm liking is that from this conversation, I'm taking in so much. And that's when it's like, you know what? I've got to listen to these guys because everyone's got a really good point. And I think when it comes to YouTube and it comes to football, we don't know it all. But if we sit down and listen to one another, right, we can take so much from a conversation and better ourselves. And the same thing in football, boxing, whatever it may be. And honestly, I'm really happy and grateful for being on this show right now because I've taken a lot from all of you all. I'm telling you.
Iron sharpens iron.
There you go, bro. You know, facts, bro. Thank you very much for that. Big up yourselves, guys. And you know what? Continue to stream. I'll see you all later, yeah?
Respect, man. Respect.
Peace out. I think, we'll look to wrap up soon. But on the subject of Arsenal and Chelsea this weekend, because, you know, we've left it, you know, it's a last minute deals. I mean,
yeah.
I'm not going to lie, bro. I feel confident. And the reason I do is obviously the last 5 games, you've only won 1 at the Emirates last season.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is with Chelsea. Like, you know, you lot can be living your best life and somehow we can just rock up to Stamford Bridge in our worst moments. And
you see what it is? You know what it is? You know what it is? You know what it is with us right now, yeah? The fact that Potter's come in, he's not really had enough time to build with the team yet. That's what I think's happening right now. He needs his players in to play the way he wants to play.
Yeah.
And if you see the last games that we've been playing, we've not really. Today was all right, but I don't think it's been our best performance. I reckon our best performance was AC Milan and Wolves. That's the 2 games I've been impressed by, because the way we've been playing under Potter is like it's not counter-attacking football. It's not attacking football. It's based on what you said when we played against Salzburg, based on the goalkeeper. That's the way I like to see us play, from the goalkeeper and play from the back and see and play from the back, play from the back. But he can't do that until he gets his players in. Like I said, when he gets his players in, that's when you see a change on the way we've been playing. Now, if you look at Kai Havertz, people say that Kai Havertz hasn't really shined yet. Mason Mount hasn't really shined yet. They've been here for years, yeah? Consistency, that's what I've been asking for. They haven't shown it in and out. The fact that Daps. You remember Johnny? When Johnny said to you that Mason Mount's on Foden's level. Now
that wasn't to me, bro.
What was it? Was that to you?
No, it wasn't to me, bro. I know the conversation you're talking about, but that wasn't to me.
When he said that,
Look, I disagree with you that Mason Mount. When you say that people say Mason Mount hasn't performed, I don't get the Mason Mount slander. I don't
get the slander.
No.
All
I ask for is consistency. That's why I ask for my players. Kai Havertz, Mason Mount, the whole of the attack. I ask for consistency.
I'll be honest, Dill. Yeah. But if we're talking about why Arsenal are confident going to the bridge, to be honest with you, I totally get why Arsenal are confident going to the bridge, and I wouldn't just base it on Chelsea at the moment. The fact of the matter, there's two things. There's current Arsenal form.
Yeah.
Actually, three things. There's current Arsenal form. There's current Chelsea form. I'm not saying your form is bad, but it's certainly not as good as Arsenal's. But then there is the fact that the last 2 seasons they've gone to the bridge and won.
Yeah.
So if you're an Arsenal fan, I do get why you would be confident. And I think Omondi's spot on. We started when we were speaking earlier about teams at home and teams away. That Arsenal, so far they've beat Big Six teams at home, not away. City, so far we've lost to Liverpool away. We've beat United at home. United, I think it's the same with all of us. This weekend, we have Arsenal going to a top 6 team away from home. Now, if Arsenal, and this is it with Arsenal, look, it is first game of the season. People, when I look at Arsenal this season, I'm looking at key milestones. I'm looking at challenges they've overcome. Last season, they lost to Crystal Palace last season in an evening.
They lost to us. They lost to us.
First game of the season, they beat Crystal Palace in an evening kickoff. Right, it's a good result. The second key game I feel for them was when they lost to Man United, and then the week after went to Brentford and won. Oh, right. They bounced back, and for me, it's not the L's. It's not the L's. It's how you bounce back from them. So to lose to Man United and then your next game you went and beat Brentford, it's like okay.
You beat us last season as well. First game of the season.
And they're these key little things that no one. And again, right now, if Arsenal go and beat Chelsea,
our backyard,
people will probably then say, "Yeah, but Chelsea aren't in form at the moment." The fact is, it's still Arsenal getting their first away win against a Big Six team. So it's a challenge. So it's a big game.
Yeah,
massive.
Yeah, I think
another one. Another one was the Leeds game. You know what? You weren't good against Leeds.
No,
but it was an away game and you won. So it's like you've now shown that away from home, when you haven't played well, you can still get a result. So
and Omondi, we had to play differently in that game. So what Omondi was saying, we did have to change our game and we did have to sit deeper because that whole second half, Leeds were all over us.
GunnerKing, GunnerKing.
We had to change our tact. We couldn't afford to just keep the ball and try and play because they weren't getting around their press.
My point was about you when you were playing us. Maybe I think you got a bit too comfortable at bringing the overload in midfield and not compensating for that. But that was the thing. I'm not disputing. You've given me really good examples of how you've demonstrated that you can adapt to that, like the Liverpool game, and you're saying you counter press them in certain areas of the pitch and hurt them. So I take that back. I accept your point.
Omondi,
Sorry,
Omondi. I want to say, we can't counter-attack Arsenal like how you did because we haven't got the players. We're missing Reece James at the moment. And that's how we would try a counter-attack Arsenal, by Reece James, because he would run up from the back of the right-back position and he would try and create so many chances for our attack. Now,
sorry.
Go on.
I think with Reece James, what he does, he would create overloads. So there might be have a phase of play on one side of the pitch, and then you can sort of rotate the ball, and then there'll be an overload with Reece James and Mount or someone else on the other side of the pitch on one of your Arsenal fullbacks. That's how I think he's.
That's what they did at the Emirates last season.
Yes, that's what we did at your ground last season.
They got man of the match as well.
Yeah. So now, obviously, with our midfield, now Kante's been out injured for at least two months now. 2 months now he's been injured for since the Tottenham game. Now, how are we gonna outform your midfield? Because that's where I think is gonna be the battle.
Can I just suggest something? Against us, you made a change after 30 minutes and you put another midfielder on, and then you put Mount on Partey, Partey, Casemiro. That would be something maybe you should do, and keep your midfield narrow. That way, to try and prevent Arsenal playing, because obviously that's a risk fear with Arsenal. So if you keep your midfield narrow and sort of go man to man and sort of cover shadow each of their passing lanes out, that could be an issue. That could be an issue. I don't know. I'd love to sit. What I would love to do is sit on the data analysis and the video analysis for Potter and for Arteta and see what they're saying.
To add a fourth caveat, to the 3 reasons that Daps said that Arsenal fans should be confident, I think there's a 4th reason, and it is James. And now Chilwell. I didn't even realise until you came on the screen. Chilwell done his hamstring.
Is he out? I presume he's out for the World Cup.
World Cup, he is.
If you look where Arsenal's key strengths are in an attacking sense, it has been Martinelli and Saka. And if you look at how we exposed Liverpool, it was from pinning back their fullbacks. Okay, they didn't have Robertson; they had Tsimikas. With Robertson.
Listen, I'm going to be worried. I'm going to be worried on that right side. I'm going to be worried about that right side.
You got to worry about
because
both
that right side.
Well, you got to worry about both sides, bro. Because Martinelli, Martinelli is for me. Deals. Let me just finish. Sorry, for me, Martinelli's been better than Saka this season, bro. Okay. He's been better than Saka this season. Like
I agree with that.
He's been more threatening. He's been more clinical. In the final third, both with his shooting and his final third actions, with his passing, with his take on ability. He is the danger man, bro. And the thing is, for me, I just without those 2 players, without Chilwell, without James, and with that being where we are at our strongest. And when the thing about Jesus drifts across the line, bro, in transitions, it's like the Arteta and Pep, they have the hallmark kind of carousel wheel, where the diamonds create, and then they tilt, they pivot, and Jesus can find himself in the left channel, and Martinelli can then find the inside space, or he could do it on the other side, and then Saka can find the inside space. That's why Saka and Martinelli are getting goals, as well as assists. And for me, without those 2 players, and without, I think Cucurella is a good player. Don't get me wrong, but
he's a good player. But he doesn't offer that what Chilwell's got.
He's adapting to the way Chelsea play. He's early on in his Chelsea career, I just don't see how Chelsea. I don't see what answers you have in your current squad to be able to deal with that. I might end up getting clipped. You might find a way. If you do, I think it's going to be a smash and grab in your own house. I don't think.
But we might thrive. We might thrive off the derbiness that I think that's where we could win by the derbiness. That's what I think would. I think if we do beat you, it's not going to be a margin of goals by beating you. That's what I think. If we're going to beat you, we're going to park the bus against you. That's what I think we would do.
Yeah.
I think that's Potter is he does set up pragmatically, terms of
Daps, GunnerKing and Omondi. What do you think of our new signings so far? Zakaria, he played today. He had a good game today. He had a good game. He had a good game today. I was actually impressed by Zakaria. He had a good game. Cucurella.
Yeah, I rate him highly.
I rate Cucurella, and I rate Sterling.
What's your thoughts on Cucurella? Because you was interested in getting him, but we've got him instead because you lot pulled out because of the money of the money side.
He's a good player. I don't think we've seen it yet, but I think he's a good player. But yeah, we haven't seen it. I understand why we haven't really, because for me, Chilwell is. Over the last couple of seasons, Chilwell's been one of the best left backs in the Premier League. So
yes,
but yeah, Cucurella's good signings. Zakaria, I know nothing about at all, so I can't even act like I do.
He was good
And-
today. He was good
and
today. He was
Sterling-
good today.
And Sterling. You know my thoughts on Sterling. You have to,
Yep.
if you want to get the best out of Sterling, you need to get a striker, and you need
Yeah.
to get the right striker. That's
Okay.
what-
You,
Okay.
can I just
You
make
don't
a
think?
quick point?
You don't think Oba? Let's talk about Oba now, because Oba. Now,
Sorry,
what you said
just quick,
earlier.
I've got to jump off. My daughter's calling me, but salute to
Yeah.
everyone. Been a really good
Big up
show.
Daps.
Nice to meet you.
Big up
Daps.
Daps.
Respect, man.
Love everyone.
Love, man.
He's a cool dude, man. Cool dude.
Yeah,
Cool,
yeah.
good,
that-
man.
Big up, never a foul, man. Big up all the man them on there.
Rare
Still,
to
man.
see
They
City
got
fans.
Cass.
Yeah, don't see many City fans, but he's cool, man.
He's
Can
leading
I
our
make-
whole blue army, bro.
Amendi.
Yeah.
Amendi. What I'm gonna question you on Chelsea is, yeah, what do you think we're lacking?
Right. What you're for me, just my look, obviously you're more qualified than me to talk about your club. I'm just doing observation from what I see. I think you've been set up to have 3 centre backs.
Yeah.
That's been the system. That means 2 wing backs in the thing, because you've got quality wing backers in Chilwell and Cucurella on one side, and James, who's outstanding. So that's your strength, and that's where you're lacking at the moment through injury or whatever unfortunate things is happening. You know. So beyond that, when you've got those guys in there, you're very comfortable, and I think everything else will gel. The other thing I think is continuity. I think you need to have, with a new manager coming in, it takes time to get his system in place and everything else. But you've got a very good manager, in my opinion. And you was mentioned earlier about Cucurella, and he said he's different. I don't know if he said he's better, but he said he's different to Chilwell. I think he's
Way
better.
offers.
Better than Chilwell. Because today's football, these fullbacks, if you're sitting there and you've got the ball and you've got your possession, you have your, especially with Chelsea, you've got your 3 centre backs, or Thiago Silva, who's just strolling through games and can pick up any position. And then you've got your wing backs or whatever. Sometimes they can come inverted or cut inside. When they're getting the ball in the half spaces just outside the box and being expected to have the ability to do that. Cucurella's got the ability to do that. It sticks to him. He's got so much good technique, such good awareness. Even though he's got his hair covering his eyes, I think how do you see that? You know, but I think Chilwell was somebody who could like overlap, go and touch, you know. Like in this half space where a lot of fullbacks are playing now. Look at Luke Shaw; he's having to do that. He's not doing great, to be honest. The guy Cancelo is a midfield player playing at fullback, basically. He's got the ability to do that, so he gets the ball outside the box in the half spaces and can be dangerous, and doesn't get rushed. So I think key. That's the difference between him and Chilwell, because Cucurella can pick the ball up in the half space outside the box and comfortable. You try rush him, pop.
No, the talk about Chelsea.
Very quickly, like the previous question you asked about what I think about Chelsea's players and what I think about, and a degree of it applies to previous seasons with United, whereby you sign good players individually, but like in terms of a system, do they go together? That's my biggest question. I think you and United spent big. The 2 of the biggest spenders, not just in this season, but in Premier League history. First and second is you first, and Man United with what they spent this season. That's more than what anyone has ever spent in a Premier League window. But where I think United are ahead of you is in that battle, in that spending battle. United bought players that very clearly fitted Ten Hag's system and his vision and what he's trying to do. And they might have overspent on Anthony. They might have overspent on Casemiro. But they fit. And the thing is, I'm not saying Cucurella doesn't fit. I'm not saying Sterling doesn't fit. But the point that Daps made, and obviously him being a City fan, and having watched Sterling over the years, Sterling is only as good as his striker. He needs a very specific type of striker to play with. And if you look at Sancho, it's very similar as well, because Sancho thrived with next to Haaland. And he's not so much at United. Well, he's still playing well, but the impact that he's having isn't the same, because these strikers are able to get closer to him, play 1-2s, neat little intricate triangles and passes in and around the box. where he can then sort of carousel wheel and then become the front man and get into the box. Now, with Oba, you know, as Aussie Gooner was describing the deficiencies of Oba, you know, he needs the ball to be put in front of him to score. But the likewise thing is, in terms of him putting the ball in front of other people and making those movements on and off the ball to create space for someone like Sterling. What I said to Chelsea fans all along, because on my TikTok, I got tagged 2,000-3,000, something like that, Chelsea fans tagging me in Troops videos of him saying Obama what, Obama who. And I called it. I said to them, look, Oba's not the right striker for Sterling. You know, like he will score goals, Oba, and Sterling will score goals.
But he wants, yeah. I know.
The problem is, just let me finish. Yeah, like with Sterling, he needs, and Sancho, they are very neat and tidy players technically. They've got high IQ and their movement off the ball at speed and to get in behind people is very good. But they need players in tandem, you know, that are closer to them. The Lukaku would suit your system better than Oba. Like Lukaku and Sterling would ball out together because Lukaku's that kind of striker as well. When he plays well for Belgium, when he plays, no, hear me out, bro. Hear me out.
Okay.
Hear me out. Yeah. When Lukaku plays really well for Belgium, yeah, it's because De Bruyne.
You know my thoughts on Lukaku, don't you?
Let me finish, bro. Please, hear me out, yeah. Because, right, Lukaku plays really well for Belgium. When De Bruyne, when they're creative and they're attacking midfielders, are getting close to him, and he's not playing with his back to goal and being used like a target man, how Chelsea and United tried to use him. Inter Milan, when he played really well, he had Lautaro Martinez just behind him. Yeah, when you've got these players that get close to you and they just neat 1-2s, it's very simple football, very simple but very effective. Ball on the ground, short, mid-range passes, give, go. Get into space, This is the striker that Sterling needs, So for me, your signings have been very good. If I'm just looking at them on the basis of are they good footballers? Yes. But in terms of like, are they bringing Chelsea closer to having a developed system?
No. Do you know why that is? Because I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying because what you said when I think we spoke before about this, and you said that it's the structure. Have Chelsea had a structure for how many years? Not really, but since we last won the Premier League under Conte, we had a structure there. We had a playing style there. Now we haven't had a playing style for how many years? I would say since Conte's time. That's what I would say. So what you're saying about structure, does it mean a lot to have a structure at the club? Yes, it does, because you're going to see struggles if there's no structure. You know what I'm saying?
And Potter's going to bring that in time. You know, like I think.
Yeah.
You know.
And another thing as well. Sterling is not a creator. He's not a creator. No. He's not. He's well known for his dribbling, I would say, but with his dribbling, he had people creating for him at Chelsea, at Man City very well, because Man City had better players playing with him at Man City than what at Chelsea is come different, because what the difference at Chelsea and Man City is that Man City have better adapt.
Sterling's not a volume. Sterling's not a volume creator. He's not a volume creator. He's not like an Odegaard or an Eriksen, in midfield that is gonna, sort of dictate the play or the tempo. If someone does that for him and plays him in behind, he's dangerous. If he's got the ball and he's isolated 1-on-1 with a fullback or a centre back, they're in trouble. They're in big trouble. They're in dangerous waters. But the problem is Chelsea don't have that volume creator either in the centre of midfield. Havertz isn't a volume creator.
No.
Mount isn't a volume creator. Mount I see very much Lampard. They don't like volume creators in this day and age. They're a dime a dozen, but they are so crucial, man. Like if you can dictate the play and the tempo, then you can start getting these players in those positions. You can start getting the ball to Sterling. There's a few times I've seen where the pass is on to Sterling, where he's literally staring at that fullback, waiting to terrorize him. and you lot haven't got that guy that's trying to get that ball to him quickly. You know? And then by the time it does get to him, there's 2 or 3 players around him, and that's where he can get a bit lost in the weeds a bit, you know, like. But if you get him the ball quickly in situations where he's isolating fullbacks and centre backs, and if that happens on Sunday with even our defenders, as good as they are, they're in trouble. Anyone's in trouble. It doesn't matter who they are. They're in trouble, bro. They're in dangerous waters, and that's what Chelsea need to develop. Yeah. Who can we get, to get Sterling on the ball in those situations? And not only that, what striker can we get that can help him be in those situations when the striker receives the ball and he's pinned back the centre backs and he's in a position where he's drawing in 2 or 3 defenders and Sterling's just there in acres, and that striker can be like, you know what, bam, there you go, you do the rest. And Over don't have that in him, bro. That's what I'm trying to. That's what I've been trying to say to his fan base, isn't it? It was an agenda for him because I don't want to see him do well because he's playing for you, and it's like this ain't no. This is my head talking. It's not my heart, bro. You know what I mean?
But the thing is, the window's not till January, so nothing to do about it. You've got to work with what you got now. So what I think Chelsea need to do effectively is look at Liverpool. When Liverpool won the Champions League and the league, they had Gigi, they had Henderson in midfield, and guys who are workers, not known for being industrious players who would do the work and pinch the ball high up the pitch. And then suddenly you've got Salah, Mane, and Firmino doing their thing, 1-2 touches and getting in the box in the danger area and that kind of thing. So the same price to Chelsea, I think, why would they buy Sterling? And then they got Havertz, Sterling. It doesn't make sense. What are they going to pay?
Mount.
Are they paying 5?
The thing is,
you see what I'm saying? It doesn't.
The thing is, we're missing a white winger. We're missing a white winger. We're missing a white winger and we're missing a DM. That's what we're missing.
Well,
and that's what.
My point is,
then you need to go to a back four to play with white players.
You can't do nothing about that right now. You can't bring players in right now because the window's closed. But what you can do, I think you can do effectively, is you've got the industrious players. Conor Gallagher, I think he's going to be key. They've looked at it, the way he performed against Palace last year, his pressing, his energy, his enthusiasm. He might not be the most talented, but he will flipping do a Leeds United, be on a man and be buzzing around a man and get, not allowing him to turn, that kind of thing, and pinching the ball high up the pitch. And then suddenly you've got Sterling, Havertz, and Mount, and all these guys who, that's where you want to counter press higher up the pitch. But how do you get Thiago, who I think he's a great player? I think he's killing you, to be fair, because you should be playing the back 4. Back 5 don't work anymore. Thiago, you're luxury.
He can't play.
He's killing you right now. You can't get up the pitch sometimes against better teams like Arsenal. You'll find at the weekend.
With Thiago,
if you could get and squeeze the play, compress the play in the opposition's half, that's when it will be effective for these industrial players. Like Spurs, we spoke about this earlier. Spurs will play deep, and they got Hulberg and you name them, Skip and all these guys who are industrious, but deep they can't get out, and suddenly they're stuck. They're getting suffocated in their own half. They can't get out same way. So I think Chelsea, their problem is Thiago, world-class player, no doubt. He's strolling out there, but he's killing you right now because you need to play at 4, and you need to way we can get out of the pitch, and then these guys.
We can't play a wing-back system.
The Croatian guy.
We can't play the wing-backs. We can't play the wing-back system because I've realised it only works in one way. That's the Champions League. It can only work in Champions League. We've done it in the Champions League and it's worked out in the Champions League. We tried to do it in the Premier League and you saw the outcome at Brighton. Yeah,
one team won with 5 at the back in the Premiership League history, and that's Chelsea once. That maybe speaks volumes about how.
So what are you saying then? So what Potter needs to do is go back to old school tactics, what Chelsea are known for.
Potter's a good coach. Potter's a good coach. We know that.
In the longest, I think
the prime example for me is you start with 5 against Man United against a 4-3-3. Okay, and you're getting overrun. You should have learned the week before. Conte was stubborn. We played Tottenham the week before, overrun them, dominated the whole game, had possession in their half, and all that kind of thing. They sat back, they couldn't get out. Potter starts with the similar formation against Man United. After half an hour, he said, "Man, I've messed up here. I'm going to go and put an extra man in midfield and go light for light."
I remember. I was there. Yeah, I remember.
Oh, respect, man, respect. Yeah. So you were there. You see a bird's eye view what's going on. And everything changed. You put an extra man in midfield, and then it was like for like. and it was bumping heads. And you sometimes
I've said all along, man, the longer term strategy for Chelsea should be how do we transition to a 4?
Yeah.
If you bought Sterling, then you've kind of committed to having to do that. Like it's, for me. Otherwise, you might as well have not bought him.
Yeah. I know. Yeah.
Sense. But I listen. I've got the highest respect for Sterling. I think he's probably still been one of your better players this season.
Yeah. He has. He scored today. He scored today.
Doesn't necessarily benefit you.
We got a new midfielder. We got a new midfielder on the alert. Zakaria. He scored today. He scored today, and he had his chance.
Zakaria, man.
He scored today. He scored today. He made a few passes here and there. He was okay. I think he was man of the match today for me.
I'm familiar with Zakaria in it because he plays for Switzerland. And he's played with Xhaka a lot of times. So I've watched him. He's a good ball winner. He can play as a centre back as well. So he gives you options. I've been baffled as to why he hasn't had chances sooner from either Tuchel or Potter.
Because Potter said apparently Potter said he doesn't rate Potter. He doesn't rate Zakaria. He said at one stage he didn't rate him, and that's why he wasn't playing him. Now he gave him a chance today, and he's turned up today. And I thought, should we try him against Arsenal?
You should.
I think we should. But we should try. Do you think we should try a 3-man midfield against you?
Listen, what I'm saying is with Zakaria, what he can do, there are hallmark similarities with him and Pai.
Yeah.
He's a ball winner, but also he's not just someone that he's got good technical ability. Like he can dribble, he can pass, he can break lines.
He can't. Can he defend? No.
Yeah.
Okay.
He knows how to defend.
He's played as a centre back as well as a centre midfielder.
Oh no, I'm talking about in a system he can defend. I'm not saying tackling. No one tackles these days.
No,
but he knows how to play in the system.
No, I shouldn't really.
Hang on, Deals. Just a second. Yeah, what I'm saying is he's got good defensive fundamentals. Like he's got good awareness, good positional awareness. Like he's good in the tackle. And he's physically very imposing. Like he's very strong. He's very quick. He's like when he's played at his best, which he didn't at Juventus. I'm not sure that was the right move for him. When he's played for Switzerland, he plays deeper than Xhaka in midfield, so that Xhaka can be more of a box-to-box player. In the same way that Partey's doing now, for Arsenal. So I think without Kante, and with Jorginho and with Kovacic, you need someone to anchor those two.
Yeah.
Or you could even sacrifice Jorginho and then play Zakaria and then play Kovacic and then maybe put Mount or Havertz in the centre, which I've always said is their natural positions anyway.
Yeah.
I think that's with Kante and Jorginho coming to the end of their career, you should be looking at a 6 anyway. Because I don't like seeing Havertz playing as a false 9. It's not his natural role.
It's not.
He's getting goals there, fair enough. And Mount,
where is he?
Havertz is a natural 8 or a 10.
Yeah, he's a natural 10.
And that's where he was playing the most. Playing as not a creative midfielder per se, but just someone that could just make later arrivals into the box. That can, kind of.
He's more seen as he's more the noise was when Lukaku, when it wasn't happening for Lukaku, everybody wanted to see Havertz as a striker. Now for me personally, I think he's a cam because he's not a guy to bag you them goals on a consistent basis. He's a cam. Now he's a cam because if you look at the passes that he makes, his attacking awareness, you can see he's a cam. So that's my thoughts on Kai Havertz.
I do. I think that's his better position. But what team plays with 10s these days? 10 is
not a lot. Not a
position.
Crystal Palace play with them. Crystal Palace play with them.
in a free where you have like in a free where you have like a deeper 8 and a more advanced 8. You know,
there's not
two interiors.
There's not
could
10 though. It's
absolutely
not
do
like
that.
traditional 10 where he's the main guy you play
No,
for.
no,
But
but
yeah, that's where 10s are having to play these days, isn't it, Chris?
I think yeah, like I think Havertz could play in that position. I like Mount. When he plays wide, you can see it doesn't come naturally to me, and that's the biggest quandary, really. But listen, look, guys, it's been a couple of hours now, so probably look to end the stream. But Deals, before you go, I guess like score predictions from you. What do you think?
Like I said, again, like I said, my view on it is 1-0 Chelsea, because we're not going to get more goals than I think we're going to get. Because I thought that because the way we've been playing, I'm just saying 1-0 Chelsea. I'm going to the game as well, by the way.
Big up.
Yeah, I'm going to the game on Sunday. Yeah. Are you going to the game as well? Are you going? Are you coming?
I'm not. I don't think, man. But I'm at tomorrow's game. But yeah, working this weekend. So I think my score prediction. I think both teams will score, but I think we'll win 3-1.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see, bro. Like, but yeah, probably get you on afterwards for a reaction, maybe on Monday or Tuesday. Or
you should get. You should get on here. Get Prime on here, because he's a good speaker for Chelsea. He's a good speaker for Chelsea as well.
We've had Prime on. I've been on streams with him on One Touch on the terrace as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think Carefree Lewis sent me a message about maybe doing a preview as well, just a one-on-one one. Yeah. So I'll see if I can line that up as well beforehand. But listen, guys, it's been great to have you guys on.
Omondi. Big up,
man. Lovely to meet you. It's a pleasure to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you as well.
Games and seeing your team live, you know, that's bad. As Chris as well, you go to games live. I wish I could do the same, but they're up all the way up north.
You can catch me on. You can catch me on Chelsea OG. You can catch me on Chelsea OG. You can catch me on Chelsea OG show. Chelsea OG. Chelsea. Yeah, on YouTube it's Chelsea OG. That's where you can catch me. That's where I'm more time at. Chelsea OG show.
And yeah, man, you're on Instagram as well.
Yeah,
we'll link your socials to the video as well.
Yeah. And
Omondi, obviously, Man United agenda. Do you want to let everyone know where you can be found as well, Omondi?
Yeah. I'm from the Man United. Is it just Deals CFC?
Yeah, on Instagram. Yeah,
I've got you. I'm just adding you on. Yeah, Insta now.
Yeah.
My name's Omondi Juma. I'm from the Man United Agenda, sister channel, Armoury. We're all brothers in arms. Great community. I just want to say as well, stop watching mainstream sports shows. This is where it's at. You get more authentic stuff. No bias with us as well. Real fans. Great community that we're building here. So make sure you follow Gunner King, Armoury TV, and Deals as well from Chelsea fan as well. It's great to meet a great Chelsea fan as well. Enough respect, Deals. Pleasure meeting you. Chris, as always, man, maximum respect, bro.
Love, man. Love people. And yeah, it's been great to have you guys on. And we'll stay tuned. There's going to be more shows coming, and I'm going to be about a lot more now as well.
Big up.
All right. One love, people, yeah?
Peace.